Hey, we're in field one, Zach?
Okay, this morning I saw that Bruce got released, and his contract is done, with the national team. But I think the biggest thing have to be now that we're soccer, don't make the next mistake. So I don't think that we need another MLS coach being a national team coach. I don't think so. I prefer to get a coach in with a name and strong personality. I think that's the next step for US soccer, to especially if you see how much time you have to next World Cup. I think the next step will be bringing a guy in with a good name and a good personality, and I think we have to make the pressure on younger players too. We have so much quality in the United States, but end of the day now, I think the next step have to be that some of them go in and try to play in Europe. So if I see Christian Pulisic, what he did, I only say always I have much respect of this kid, and I think he's the wonder boy for us, and he makes stuff happen in games. And but I think that we have still a couple other guys too, like Kellen and Yedlin is already over there. Brooks is over there, Wood is over there. So I think we have in this league, we have a lot of players, but now Knockby, I think, have to make the step over. See, Jordan Morris, he was already, but he decided to come play for Seattle. I think if you want to make the next step in your career, you have to go over there. And I think MLS relies on US soccer too. If we have access with the national team, it comes back good for MLS too. And if I look back in the days when I started, I think most of the guys played in Europe. If you go with Carlos Bocanegra, Timmy, Michael Bradley, was DeMarcus Beasley, was me, was Donovan was always in and out. He always go back and forth on loan into good teams in Europe, and like Steve Gerundolo, you can go on and on and on. And now it's I feel like we make it too easy for the younger generation. The younger generation have to be hungry too, to say, I want to play Champions League. I want to play in Italy, in Germany, in England, in Scotland, in battle day for day for your position that you play on the weekend. And that's not against MLS, but I only want to say that it's good for our national team. And if the national team have players with a good background or a good history of playing in Europe, I think it's good. And that have to be the next step. But how you get that? I think you get that when you bring in a new coach who maybe has a good name in Europe, has a good name in soccer world in general, and can do that pressure on players. I would love to see that the coach come in and say, listen, I know you play in MLS, but I want to see you go in a good age of 20 up there to go to Europe and get that last bit out of you, that fighting every day for your position, and get better, and sit down with you. And if you decide to make the big contract in MLS and say, okay, I want to play in MLS and take the paycheck, then the national team have the right to say, okay, I respect that, but I want to see the national team maybe in a different way, and I want to win games, and I want to go to every World Cup. I want to play winning games against the top teams and try to see America in one point up there. I think it's that have to be the next step for soccer. And then, with all the respect to all the MLS coaches, and I respect them in everything, but just what I see, what we can do better is like putting more stuff into our youth teams, in our youth players. And there is so much quality in this country, and it's so big. But we have to understand, it don't start as if you make it to the first team. It starts already younger, and there we have to make the next step. If you make the next step there, you get MLS better. If you get players to Europe, you get the national team player better. So and that's for me, that I think that have to be a main goal. But with to not qualify for that World Cup, I think it hurts, and it hurts everyone in this country. It hurts the TV, the media. It hurts the national team in general. It hurts MLS. It hurts everyone. You know, if you see when we went to 2014 World Cup, how many American fans went over to see the World Cup? How big was the anxiety for the next MLS season in MLS from people to watch the games and watch the players? And now you make a step backwards everywhere, and I feel like that's sad and that's bad, you know. So now I hope to look forward in the future that we can say, yeah, we watch Champions League here in the United States, and we see players like Nagby, Kellen, D. Yedlin, then John Brooks, all this guy, Fabian Johnson, Jordan Morris, that you see them play week for week in the top leagues, and you see them play Champions League like we do it with Pulisic right now. If you see Pulisic comes back and everybody puts their hands up and say, hey, this is the man, he have to bring us to the World Cup and everything. But why is it only him? He's 19, he decided with his family to go the hardest way, and he made it. So I respect that. But I want to see more kids hungry like that, you know, and don't pull just the easy way and say, oh, I go and play MLS and never want to go over to Europe and then hope that maybe an MLS coach comes and he prefer more MLS players. That's not right. That's not right, and that's not good. That's not good for our soccer in this country. But if you want to make the next step, what everybody's talking, what every fan is hoping, it's you have to be a coach who be straight. It hurts sometimes. It hurts MLS. It hurts the players. It hurts maybe different coaches. But sometimes you need that. Sometimes you have to talk the truth. And the truth is you need more players in the top leagues. And that's the point. You know, and I wish, if I can say it again, when I look back, there was so many players. When Bob Bradley was the coach, how many players played in MLS? Most of the players came from Europe. And that's, you learn to get personality. You learn to get like stronger as a person. While you battle day for day, in and out, you battle for your position. And that makes you stronger. And that's the fact. If you play them games against Honduras, if you play games against Trinidad, Costa Rica, and blah, blah, these teams, they have respect. Where they see this guy makes hard work. They're playing in Europe. They play Champions League. So their people get respect, like respect they have from Pulisic. That's the truth. But then you play Costa Rica now, nobody respects you anymore. When they see you and they say, oh yeah, he plays MLS. We have a goalkeeper who plays in Real Madrid. We have a guy who plays in Benfica. We have a guy who plays in Arsenal London. So people lose the respect for you. So it gets tougher and tougher to play in CONCACAF qualifying. That's the truth. And this is why I'm saying, and I hope that US Soccer makes that decision and brings somebody in with a good name, in that the players get that kind of fear, and don't choose always the easy way. That's what I hope. But but it's nothing against MLS. Don't understand me wrong. I say always, I hope that MLS is in one point up there, that we can say we battle in CONCACAF Champions League is in the same level like Champions League we have over in Europe. I would love to see that. But I hope, and I think this country deserves it. It's just one of the best, if not the best country in the world. And if we can get that in, that soccer is the number one sport like it is everywhere in the world, come on, I think everybody will be happy about it. And I'm the first one who will love it. And I try to do everything, but it's not only you cannot only see the first MLS or the first league in your country. You have to see what comes after, what comes behind there, like the U teams, the second team of the MLS teams. How good are they? How can you pull players from there and they'll be ready to play? You know, that's the point. If A national team coach, you have 12 days. In this 12 days, you play 2 games. You need players who you can pick and you can throw in, and you don't have to teach them where they have to run. That's the fact. And that was what Jürgen said. Jürgen never said something against MLS. But he's saying it's tough. And to be honest, with all the respect, it's the truth. It's tough to bring some players in from MLS, and you have to teach them the easy soccer thinking. That's the problem. I'm not saying it's the fault of the players. It's the fault of the whole system. That players not ready yet. If you take a 25, 26 player age in MLS and you compare him to a 19, 20 age player in Europe, the Euro player is in his brain father already, and that's not good. That's not a good sign for our soccer, for our country. This is what I'm talking. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going against people. I don't want to go against MLS. I don't want to go play American players and stuff. I wish and I hope that we can be all one day up there and we say we have the best league in the world. We have the best players. Our American players play in our league, or they're playing the best Champions League teams in Barcelona and everywhere. I will be the first one who see that. I see this young kid, and I love it to see the young kid in Schalke. I love it to see him. I hope that he makes his way, to the national team and everything. The same like the young kid. I think he's in U17 right now. He decided to go to Wolfsburg. I love to see that. These kids, they have something in front of them where they want to see themselves, and they don't want to go the easy way. They can say, "Oh, I stay at home. I'll be here in the States and go the easy way. Have my dad and my mom around." No, they go the hard way. But it can be the better way, and that's what I hope that we can encourage all the younger guys to sometimes don't pick the easy way. Sometimes pick the hard way, and sometimes it comes better back than you can believe in the point right now. If you go and see from all the guys who came back to MLS. End of the day, they came all back and they get big contracts. But why they got big contracts? Where they played in Roma, in Everton, in all kind of stuff, And then they get that respect. The American guys in the league gives them back that respect what they have to get, and that's what I want to see more from you players. When I remember Jürgen called me and told me to please call Jordan Morris. I called Jordan Morris and I talked with him. And I asked him, I said, I know that Werder Bremen really wants you, and you can play there, and you have the opportunity. You never know what comes after. You play already Bundesliga, and you can go farther. And he said, you know what? I want to go home. My dad is the doctor in Seattle, and my mom, they bought me and my girlfriend a dog and all kind of stuff. I was, really? I'm like, why you go the easy way if you have the chance, There's so many kids out there, they would love to go this way, but why we go always the easy way? That's the point. And that's what I wanted to say, I don't want to go back and go about the games that we don't qualify, how we played against Trinidad, how we played against Mexico the first game, or Costa Rica or Panama when I was there. It's over, And what is over, it have to be over. And now we have to look forward, and we have to look what can we do better in general all together. That's the next step, and that's what we have to look in. And we're not qualified. We have a couple of years now to build something really good, but we have to build it really smart. And for building something smart, you need somebody on top who is top. And I hope that happens. So I have to go to training. Peace.
What's up? I leave the country.